Have you ever wondered how our emotions can impact our financial decisions? Well, in this video, we're going to be exploring kind of a compelling connection between your mental well-being and your money. Now, I've got some super interesting statistics and real life stories I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to go over like real life scenarios of how you can really keep your finances on track, even if you're like head's not right there and maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend left you or you lost a job and you're just not thinking right. So let's dive in. So first off, right, don't spend more than you earn, okay? So Jeff Reeves of investorplace.com, and he's the author of some books, points out that most people in their 20s, they spend more than they earn and they totally forget about saving money for retirement or for investing and stuff like that. Now, it's super tempting to like want to live in a lavish luxury lifestyle, travel the world, I deserve this expensive restaurant, etc., right? But if you're just out of school, right, you should not be spending money on luxuries like that, right? A lot of young people end up in debt for years because they feel like they deserve things. And the simple fact is, if you want to be rich, you keep your money, you don't give it away to other people. Now, retirement may seem like a distant horizon, like in your 20s, you're like, I want to live for the day, like not think long term. But the magic of compounding interest actually works to your advantage the younger you are. So the more money you save right now, the more you're going to become rich later on. So one thing you can do is, number one, ask your company that you work for if they offer a 401k match. A lot of companies will, for every dollar you put in your own retirement, they'll give an extra dollar. And if you're working for a company, you can make sure that's automatic so that it's just happening every month. You're saving money and you're securing your future and you're giving yourself compound interest so that, and passive income. It's just win, 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 win. Paying less taxes too, right? Now, the second way is you don't pay unnecessary bank fees. So banks are going to charge you for everything. They're going to charge you for, if you're not using your credit card. They're going to charge you if you are overspending. They're going to charge you if you go over your limits and all this sort of stuff. So what do you do to escape this? Well, you can visit sites like bankrate.com or savingsaccount.com or Kasasa to help you find banks that offer better deals and less fees and structures that align with however you typically spend money. You can also consider credit unions is something in the US, which offer lower interest rates on loans and they charge fewer fees, right? But here's a crucial tip. When you're transitioning to a new bank, keep your old account open for a period of time, at least 6 months, to allow all the recurring transactions and checks to clear, because you don't want to have bounce payments, you don't want to have stuff like this that can affect your credit score. Now, the next tip for financial advice when you're depressed, right, is, a common money mistake is skimping on investing in your own career, right? Your own education, your own ability to get higher wages, higher salaries, better job offers, because it's a super competitive job market in the remote world, right? Everybody's competing against everybody. I'm competing against people in India, realists, everybody's competing against anybody. And neglecting investing in your career will get you caught in a rut. The world's moving faster than ever before. Investing in your education is one of the best things you can do. Investing in your brain is a great place. Another thing you can do is invest in a career coach. And right, this can cost, $200 a session, that might be like an expensive cost, but again, if you're putting money into a place where you can make more money forever, then it's just a better situation, right? And we all know better spend $200 on a career coach than to spend, $200,000 on a college like most people are doing. It's crazy. It's 1,000x difference, and a lot of people will wince at hiring a career coach but say, oh, of course, go to college. Now, if you're depressed, it's also really important to have an emergency fund of money, right? One of the biggest things, a crucial financial safeguard is an emergency fund. And life is unpredictable. You get sick, your dog gets sick, you break a leg, your car crashes, your house catches on fire, stuff happens. and you need to build an emergency account. I'm not talking about an investment account. I'm talking about emergency savings for when life goes differently than you expect. How many folks have had life throw curveballs at them? Right? Everyone has. Now, what I used to do is I just wouldn't spend money, and I just tried to save everything. You know, I lived at my parents' at times when I was like really early on in my career in college, right? Just so I could keep more and more and more money. And you know, I could invest that in my education, or you know, building software when I was young, etc. Now, the next financial advice for depressed people is don't fall victim to spending traps, right? And what that means is getting like some of these rewards credit cards. They sound really exciting, you know, oh, I'm gonna get like all these perks and stuff. But if you're falling into this like, oh, I just need to spend another $200 to get this reward, then you're probably spending money you wouldn't have otherwise. And there's actually a term, economists have a term for this. It's called purchase acceleration. And it describes a situation where you're ramping up spending just because, you know, you want to achieve some sort of like reward, or, you know, get cash back, or, and it can just trigger people to subconsciously want to spend more money. And again, spending more money is like, it's like the equivalent of killing yourself. Okay, another drawback of rewards credit cards is they usually have higher interest rates. So if you're not paying off your card each month, if you're carrying a balance, that extra interest rate is just costing you money that you could keep otherwise. Okay, next financial tip is don't fail to negotiate prices. You know, a lot of people who are depressed, they're just sad, they don't want to talk to people, and they don't want to impose themselves on the world and stuff like that. But if you allow that to affect not negotiating prices or negotiating your, home price or whatever you're buying, a car, you're crazy. You're just wasting money that you could have otherwise haggled. Now, the term for this is called neo-haggling. And it's to describe people that are scared to actually ask, can I get a lower price? Right? Are you, and I'd love to hear in the comments, when you go to a store, are you scared to ask for a lower price? Okay. Now I'm going to throw some uncommon wisdom at you. Get over yourself, just stop it, haggle, ask for people for lower prices. Now, the general rule of thumb I use is I believe everything can be discounted at least a third. So if I'm paying, if somebody's saying, oh, the product's $300, I say $150, and then I give them a 50%, I tell them I'll pay 50% of it, and then I'll haggle up to, $200, so I'm paying a third less. Now, another problem that depressed people do is they have 100% complete reliance on a single income source, and it's super risky. In today's job market, you can't really expect a job to last forever. People are changing jobs 10 times more than they were 50 years ago. So some of these transitions are voluntary. Some of these are just companies going in and out of business, technology, whatever the reasons are. You should have more than one income source. Multiple streams of income is actually sort of a necessity in today's day and age because the world is just such a chaotic place. Next tip of financial advice for you depressed people out there is not choosing a right student loan repayment program. So, just statistically speaking, most of the folks here, were students sometime relatively recently, and you're repaying student loans. Who here in the comment, how much do you owe on your student loans? Who's going to be brave and let us know, how much do you owe on student loans? If it's zero, that's great. But if it's not zero, right, that sucks. And you should negotiate how much you are actually paid. A great person to listen to about negotiation is Gary Vaynerchuk. He negotiates literally everything. I mean, you see this guy at garage sales. He's negotiating a $2 Pokemon card to get it for $1, then he's going to flip it on eBay for $1,000. The guy's insane. He wants to save an extra dollar when he's already going to make $1,000. He's crazy, but he negotiates everything. And that sort of instinct, around just always not, keeping your money is a really good instinct. It's a really smart instinct, and it's something that, it's a muscle. It's a muscle that needs to be trained, okay? If you never do push-ups, you're gonna not be able to do many push-ups. But if you're doing them every day, you'll be able to do more and more and more, and you'll get better and better and better at it. Now, the next income tip is for the older folks watching this is, make sure you do estate planning. Make sure you plan out your will. Make sure you figure out what the future is for your family, right? Anyone here who is older and has a family, you're gonna live forever, right? Your legacy does not die with you, right? Your legacy continues on. And if you wanna preserve your legacy with your future generations that come from your bosom or whatever it's called, you got to do estate planning. You got to plan out the future of how your family operates so that it continues on into infinity. Now, some pretty shocking statistics is that actually only 40% of people actually do any sort of estate planning or like write a will, which just means 60% of people are really just winging it and just hoping their family continues on and spends money right. Not a good decision. So next money tip for you depressed folks is, don't just consider the upside when you're looking at investments. A lot of folks will invest in, maybe dividend stocks or, invest in education, and they'll only think of the good things that can happen with like, oh, I'm gonna become a millionaire, or I'm gonna, get dividends for life, but they don't think about what are all the problems. Well, the dividend stock could go down and negate all the losses. You could learn nothing. You could be learning, if you invest in education in the wrong thing, you could be learning about an old business model that doesn't work. There's so many things like that. If you're learning from, there's a ton of gurus out there. I guess arguably I'm a guru, I'm a marketing guru. But there's a lot of folks out there that I see getting into my industry, this education guru industry, and they're teaching tactics that just work for like a really short period of time. They're just, it's kind of like Facebook ads and Nutra products and, before and after pictures, and like that worked, but it doesn't work right now easily. So people will teach old things. So I say always look for teachers or, education programs that have been around and that have stood the test of time in terms of creating a consistent income. For instance, my boy Gary Vee, he teaches people to buy stuff at garage sales and flip it on eBay for more expensive. Well, that's something that's been working for 20 years, okay? And it continues to work today. So that's a really, that's a good business model. It's basic, it's simple, it requires work, it's simple. I teach affiliate marketing. It's been around for 30 plus years. It's simple, it's easy, it takes work, but it makes money. So whatever you do, make sure that when you're sad, most likely, if you lost a girlfriend or boyfriend or a job or, something happened in your life, right? You're not eating right, you're not sleeping right, you're not, I'm not going to talk about all the health related stuff. Of course, you need to be doing that stuff, but you got to be careful with your money when you're depressed. And the most important thing is keep it close, make smart decisions, get that multiple streams of income, advance yourself, advance your mind so that you're more valuable on the workplace. But again, multiple streams of income, I'd say is pretty important up there. So folks, I'm John Crestani. I've made tens of millions of dollars on the internet, working for myself, financial, location, time, freedom, and I want to help you do it as well. Subscribe to my channel, comment about what tip was most helpful to you, and look forward to speaking with you in future videos. Peace.